Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeanton.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my studio. Hope everyone's well and happy and ready to embark on the latest thing that we're going to be doing. This is a painting that we did about a year ago or something like that. No date on the back, as usual. This was a relaxed and easygoing circles design on which we doodled, and I did it using the Kuretake set, but any set of paints will do. Could use MEEDEN, Paul Rubens, Cotman, Winsor & Newton, Daniel Smith, whatever. I use the Kuretake ones because I really like using them, but all the others will work just as well and I like them too. Can't have favourites in this game. You have to play the field. Anyway, so this is my inspiration for today. These are not exactly what you would call mandalas, but they are mandala-ish, if you like, in as much as they are circular. Although I did find out recently that all mandalas are not circles, some are squares. Anyway, that's another thing. So the idea of painting mandalas is because they say that it is a way of helping yourself calm down, find peace, see your inner world. And this is very interesting from that point. Some of these are really pretty, obviously show the better side of my nature, and others of them aren't so. Some of them are a bit kind of space-agey and so on. And if you did something like this, follow the video. There'll be a link in the description below to this video. It's a fun one to do. Very relaxing and easy. But today we're going to take this a little bit more into the mandala theme. So I'll put that to one side and probably use that for inspiration for my next step. Now, I've only just recently started painting mandalas. I'll just put this up a little bit now. And this was my very first effort. All I did was I drew a circle, and I want to say, if you can find a pair of compasses, a set of compasses, a compass. I'm not sure how you would refer to it, but you can draw nice circles with one of these, and you can do all different sizes, which makes it easy to construct what you're going to do as a starting point, which is something like this. You know how to use this. You've used it at school when you were a kid, no doubt. You draw a circle like that. You can use different sized circular objects, different lids and plates and saucers and things like that if you don't have a compass, or you can use a pin and a pencil with a piece of string joining them together to make a sort of, ad hoc kind of compass type of thing. But anyway, that's the easiest way to do it if you happen to have one of those. Having drawn the circles concentrically, and then grab a ruler and just do two lines like that. And the whole reason for doing that is so that it gives you a sort of circular basic outline that you can fill in. It's not important how far apart the lines are here. You're going to ignore that anyway. And having once done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to partially erase the lines. I made them a little bit dark so you could see them, but now I'm going to rub them out. Not completely, just partially, so that they don't show through the paint. They probably won't anyway, because the Kuretake paint is a little bit opaque and tends not to let pencil show through, which is beneficial really, because sometimes it's handy to have a line of guide. So anyway, we'll just do that, and we'll sweep off these with my shaving brush, and I'll just show the other ones. That's the first one I did, and all I did there was just did the colour, and then over the top of that, the line work. The next one I did was this one, and I didn't bother to draw a circle, and you can see what happens when you don't bother to draw a circle. You get something which is a bit squashed. So that's fine, that's okay, and a couple of those on a piece of paper would make a nice gift card or something like that if you were to arrange them in a sort of artistic kind of way. But yeah, so that's that. Again, doodles on top of watercolor. And then this one was the third one I've done. And so that's basically where I'm up to in my exploration of this whole mandala theme. So again, I'm going to put that one over there for the minute, put that one over there for the minute, and put that out of the way. Brushes, paper first. This is MEEDEN watercolor, 100% cotton. Doesn't matter what you do this on, especially if it's your first one. But if you want a good result, use a decent quality paper, 300 gram or 140 pound watercolor paper obviously is going to be your best bet for this kind of thing. Just tuck that under there and put that there. Doesn't matter what brand. The MEEDEN one's very good price. If you want to buy that by post, order it from their website to get 10% off for using the code Diane10. It's already very cheap. It's only about £16 for the block, and that's pretty reasonable. I'm probably going to use Princeton Aqua Elite. I might just as easily have used my Drawell brush. I'm not sure which one is better, to be honest. My Drawells come from Japan. Maybe I'll use that today. I've used the Princeton a lot lately, but they're easy to get, and I do recommend them. And I've got my paints here. As I said, I'll just move that over a bit so you can see. Now, I don't know what colour to start with in the centre, honestly. And I'm not sure it really matters all that much. What shall I do? I almost want to go kind of eeny, meeny, miny, mo and just go around in circles and pick up whatever I land on. Because I think the thing is, the colour that you start with is going to influence what happens next. So shall we assume that the colour that my brush is most drawn to is the one that reflects my mood of today the best? Is that what we can do? So shall we start with orange? I discovered 2 days ago that I'm allergic to strawberries, and I'm really not happy about that because I love the summer fruit, and but they make my ears block up. Isn't that annoying? So I'm going to have to major on raspberries. So I'm not going to do any red today because I'm a bit fed up with red strawberries. It's annoying, isn't it? So I've put down a nice circle there of orange, and there's so many things you can do. If you use your guidelines, you'll find that you've got it divided into segments like that, and then you can do whatever comes to mind as far as dividing these sections up. And what you're going to do is you're going to paint over everything anyway. Draw over everything with your pens. So it doesn't really matter. And don't think about the design at this point, just think about the colour. So I'm now doing a circle around my centre using that orange that I was using, which is, what is it? It's cadmium orange, that's what it is. And I'm mixing that with purple. Those are the colour names of Kuretake, that's what they call it. And if you mix purple with the orange, you get this, what I think is my favourite colour at the moment. I like this colour. No, it's not dried blood. It's not. It's nice. It's cadmium orange with purple. And I'm just going to do some petals, some petal shapes like that. Try and make that one a little bit more rounded. There we are. Okay. When you're trying to decide what colour to use next, you can try it out on a piece of paper and kind of just hold it up against your... That's quite nice, isn't it? That's this one. This is Forest Gump Green. Yeah. But I could try other colours as well and just see, whether, because I was thinking green, and that's not bad either. So I might use both those colours. That one is turquoise green deep. So I think we'll use those two in combination with those. Yes, that's good. That is. That's those two there. Those two. Right. So I've got this one on my brush. So let's do a circle of this, and it doesn't matter if it runs a bit. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly even all the way around. We are not bothered about that. What we are looking for is beautiful, not perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up some of Forrest Gump, and perhaps we'll do a circle of that as well. And if you leave little gaps between, that's good. Sometimes it's quite nice if you're going to be doing embellishments on top to have the colours fairly strong, because then your white will really show up. And honestly, I think every single time that you do anything like this, you are going to do it differently. There's no doubt about that. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to let this orange just touch the green so that we get a sort of blurry effect. And when you're doing the painting part of this, it doesn't really look anything. You think, a child could do this. Well, this is true. And children probably would benefit from that. So now on the outside, I'm going to put another row of green. And because I can't decide which one to use, I'm going to mix them together. That's going to give me a nice dark colour. And again, as I always say, when you get this far through your painting, you are very likely to say, oh my God, this is not going to work. Don't listen to yourself. Do not pay attention to the inner voice. Just keep going. If you don't like it yet, it's not finished yet. And then I'm going to take a bit more orange and I'm going to put lines in here. And then we're going to let the whole thing dry, and then we'll come back and do the next stage. Looks terrible, doesn't it? Okay, so that's dry, more or less. More or less dry, that's fine. And so I've got my little bag here, my little crocheted bag from Jada in Stitches, taught me how to do this. She doesn't know it, but she did. And in here I'm keeping the ones that I like the best. So I have my white Uniball, oh that's a Rogue, my Kuretake Fujinosuke Tombow brush pens, my gold, and everything else is all in there, handily stashed. Everything's in the description below if you want to, acquire any of these. Look, I've got paint all over me again, never mind. Right, so here we have, I'm going to use the white gel pen. There are lots of different ones out there. I wouldn't like to say whether any of them are better than any of the others. But I'm going to start in the middle. And when you use this pen, don't be disappointed if initially, when you start with it, it doesn't look very white. It does dry whiter. And it dries better as you continue on with it. So it's probably a good idea to do what I haven't done, which is to try it out first on a separate piece of paper. But I'm going to say, well, I don't mind if it's a little bit pale for this step, because as I get into it, I start off a bit lighter. And sometimes you don't want it too super white, do you? Whiter than white. You know, some people have their teeth whitened and they look, thinking of, what's his name? Lee Harris. Not an improvement, in my opinion. Too white. I mean, you can go too far in the opposite direction as well, but ultra white doesn't look right. Ultra white doesn't look right. Okay, so I'm just doing dots and circles and spirals on these rays here. And what I'm going to do next is probably pick up a black. What have I got here? This is the Tombow hard. So, and then inside here we could do little spirals or scribbles, and it gives it a lot of texture for very little effort. Before I started doing these mandalas, I thought when I started, I thought I'd better do a bit of reading up about it to find out how long they've been around and what the history is. And they're apparently based on Hindu and Buddhist religious symbols. And they started to be used in Indian art about 2,000 years ago. And more recently, they were adapted and adopted by Mr. Carl Jung, the psychotherapist. And he realized that they symbolized things which were archetypal within our psychology. And he decided that he would make it part of his psychoanalytic practice. And since then, they've become a little bit also quite popular in, you might say, New Age philosophy and so on. So, yeah. They have a good pedigree, you know. They have a worthy heritage. So I'm just doing whatever lines come to mind. And while I'm doing this, I'm doing what you shouldn't do, which is thinking about what I'm going to do to fill in the gaps, or whether I am, in fact, going to fill in the gaps. I'm just going to return to my paints briefly, because you can always do that. So we'll go back to that orange, make it a bit more reddish, and then I'm going to come in here and put in semicircles into these spaces, like this. Make it a bit more reddish so it contrasts a bit. You can buy these designs ready-made. There's loads of colouring books out there based on the mandala. But it's more fun to do it yourself, I think. So I need to let that dry now, but I'll go to the next line round, and I'm going to use my black. Am I going to use my black? What am I going to do next? Let's do some, maybe I won't use black. Perhaps I'll use white. Perhaps I'm going to use quite a lot of white on this one. Okay, so yes, we're going to go round here. Now the reason I was hesitating is because I want to do some lines like this And I thought if I used black, it wouldn't show up. So I'm going to do that. And then this is very new agey. This is the little dots. This looks quite space agey. I'm going to do this whole thing reasonably quickly, and I'm not going to make it into what you might call a work of art, because I just want you to see how you can, what you can do. Ah, I know, I've got an idea. I'm going to get my Dr. Martens Bleed Proof White and an older brush. Don't want to spoil a good brush. And I'm going to do some, not with that, I'm not. Oh, that's interesting, look. I haven't used this for a few days. I don't know what's going on in there. That's dried out. Huh. Okay, we won't use that. Luckily, I've got something else. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to investigate that. This is a similar thing. This is white gouache. Don't know what's going on with that bleed proof white. How strange. How very, very strange. Just mix up some of this white gouache here. A little bit of water, perhaps. And I'm going to do some bit more water. I'm going to do some petal shapes around here. You don't have to be very precise, just like I said. Again and again. Sometimes when you're doing white gouache over a colour, if the colour is fairly strong, you will find that it bleeds through, because this isn't bleed proof white. The bleed proof white has gone on strike. But that's okay, because if it turns out to be pale green, it doesn't matter. I probably should have, I can just move that up. If we were doing this digitally, I could just reposition that, but I'm going to put another one in. There we go. There we are. So that's fine. That's great. And now I'm going to dry it. So having done those, I think the next thing to do is going to be to go round them. And I'm using my the soft version of this Tombow brush. And we're just going to make these into nice petal shapes or leaf shapes. Quite nice and thick. That one's not quite dry. There we are, that's better. Just clean that brush off because I don't want to spoil it. It's brand new. And I think I got a little bit of paint on it. terrible. I'm absolutely terrible with these things. Okay, so what next? I think we are asking for more spirals here. And really, you know, some of you ladies out there, you've got fantastic imaginations. And I know that you're going to really love this because you can just do whatever comes into your head. And because you've just got this circle, your design doesn't matter. Your structure is there, you know. You haven't got to worry about whether or not this abstract looks abstract enough to be called an abstract. It doesn't matter what you do. Just working within the circle, which doesn't even have to be an exact circle. And as you build it up, you'll be thinking, you know, carpets and all that kind of stuff, how beautiful they all are. And maybe we need some gold now. So I don't know if this is going to work, trying to put gold on these white ones, but it might do. Yeah, that's going to work. So we go round once. And then maybe we'll go around again in the middle. It's so cold here again today. My goodness. 10 degrees and it's June the 4th. It's not meant to be this cold. Okay. You see how this has gone really nice and can you see that? Where it's just bled very nicely into itself there. It's really quite pretty. Then maybe let's, on the outside edge, on this one, I did this zigzag pattern. I think on this one, I might try doing some lines just coming in like that in some places. In some places I might make them a bit longer, and they don't need to be even. In fact, you want them to not be even. That's the cat flap. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where this is going to go, but we'll just do that. And I know that my circle is not circular. If I was doing this in my own time and being, you know, a little bit more careful, I probably first of all would ruin the whole thing because I'd be thinking too hard. And secondly, it would probably be much more circular. So as I'm going around, I'm sort of figuring out that what I wanted to do really was to put these little vertical lines adjacent to the points of these leaves. So some of them aren't like that because I hadn't figured that out until I got halfway around. So I'll just extend this one here a bit and this one here a bit, just so that we've got them kind of roughly. And then what I'm going to do is just paint over that bit in the middle there a little bit. Just hide those ones. That will dry a bit lighter. And we're getting towards, you know, we're getting there, aren't we? And then I think I'm going to take the white pen again and I'm going to go round in another line round. You know, they talk about the mandala unifying the aspects of us, you know, the mind, the soul, the spirit, the body. And that's probably why you kind of tend to think, oh, I need to keep going round. I don't know. I'm not an expert on mandala. Never done one before. But here's always the first time. Okay, I'm quite liking this actually, if I say so myself. But I'm going to put a border around the outside edge here of little circles. You know, in India, apparently they do these using things like dal and sand and coloured chalk and stuff, and they do them like from powder, and they put them on their kitchen table, and they or not on the kitchen table perhaps, but perhaps they don't even have tables. I know they cook on the floor a lot like they do in Egypt. And apparently the idea is that it keeps out unwanted influences like creepy crawlies, and can't do that, that's still wet, and so on and so forth. And then I noticed somebody the other day I saw had done this. I've got a pen here. This is another one that I've just started to use. This has got grey at one end and black at the other end, so this is grey. And somebody had said, oh, when I do my mandalas, I quite like to do sort of squiggles on the outside. So you could do that if you wanted to. I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'm not doing it very well. I think she had them going quite a long way out. I don't know, it's not a bad idea, is it? Maybe you can do it better than me. But I thought I would just share that idea with you. Maybe if you build it up enough, it would look right. Maybe it looks silly, I don't know. Maybe not, I don't know. No, you have to tell me what you think. It's maybe I haven't done it very well. I think the person that I was looking at had come down quite a long way, and she'd sort of put like hearts, and maybe there were stars and things like that, and things floating around in the general sort of vicinity of the universe. I'm not quite sure. I think maybe she was kind of thinking about the children when she did hers. I quite like the idea of the grey. I'm not quite sure about it yet, but yeah, we can do that. I'm not sure about that. That might not be right, but I'm going to put some more gold in here now, I think. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, yeah, no, I don't think I should have done that with the dangly bits. I don't think I like that, actually. But what can I do to put that right so that I do like it? I think, first of all, the colour that I chose is wrong. And we need to make it more... I think probably, for a start, it should have been black. If you can hear something crashing around in the background, that's my dog trying to catch flies. Yes, that's you, Zen. I know. Let's try this. Let's try going around the outside edge with a nice squiggly swirl like this, and try to incorporate these not particularly successful spirally things You never know where it's going to go, guys. You just never know. So never say, oh my God, I've wrecked it. Don't say that, because it's not going to be true. You always find a solution. Even if it means you have to do a bit more work. Getting there. Okay. And then what we have to do is just extend and expand these things. Try to make a bit more logic sense out of it. In other words, fill the space. I don't like that grey because it looks like pencil. Okay, and then up here we'll just go over these. And I think what we need here, we do need something else in the middle of this orange band. It could be anything. There we are. And we can go on. I tell you what, we can put black over these ones here to make the center a little bit more definite. You can go around here too. And then at some point you're going to get to the stage where you say, oh, I need to leave this, I need to go and have a cup of tea and come back later and see what it looks like. And that's what it looks like. So in the end, I wasn't happy at all with what I'd done around the outside of the mandala, so that's an idea which I'm not going to pursue. But not to be discouraged, I just cut it off. So I took the whole thing, I have removed it from its surrounding, and I can now use this and glue it onto another piece of paper. And it could be framed like that if you decided that you liked what you did originally, but you didn't like the bit that you didn't like. Cut it off, throw it away, and you're left with something that's actually fine. I think that one turned out okay. It's not unlike this one. And I think they make quite a nice pair. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, this is easy peasy work. And I sincerely hope that you give it a try, because I know that you're going to enjoy it. I've resisted making mandalas for a very long time. Oh, that makes me suddenly think of something. Do you remember that toy that we used to have where you used to make two circles like this, and they used to be painted in multicolours, and then you had a piece of string that went through the middle, and they used to spin it and make the thing go round, and it created a lovely pattern. You remember that? That reminds me of this, or this reminds me of that. Anyway, yeah, so have a go. there's going to be a blog up on our website, dianeanton.com, which talks a little bit more about this and goes over the whole procedure a little bit in a bit more detail. And I'm going to personally challenge myself to do at least one small mandala every day. And it's going to be something, I'm going to start doing a proper daily sketchbook. I keep a daily journal again. I've started doing that again. But I'm going to really try to incorporate art into it now going forward. So watch this space. And if you want links to anything that I've used, it's all in the description below the video. Or go to my Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/DianeAntonStudio, and you'll find all the things that I recommend using on there. If you're still interested in the MEEDEN paints, which I think are brilliant, go to the MEEDEN website, link in the description below, and use my code Diane10 and get an extra 10% off. You can't say fairer than that. This paper is very good. I really like this paper. It's definitely the best watercolor paper out there at the moment for the price, 100% cotton. And it's nice and white. It's got a good texture, not too rough, not too smooth. And it lets the paint flow quite well. So it's really got all the features you would want. And I think it's $16.95 for a pad of 20. They will be bringing out bigger and smaller sizes soon. At the moment, you can just have 10 by 7, but they're going to be increasing their range of sizes in the near future. So, and also please consider joining us on Patreon. Only $2.99 to start with on Patreon, and you get membership of the Facebook private members group where you can follow the daily challenge, or else you can join us here on YouTube. If you become a member of our YouTube channel, paying $2.99, same thing applies. I think I've run out of things to say. I think it's time to say goodbye. I'm going to make a cup of coffee, and yeah, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Just goes to show how far wrong you can go and how simple a solution is. Just cut it out. So I'll leave you with that thought, and have fun. Take care this Sunday, and I'll see you again soon. So bye everybody. Bye bye for now.